Hey my lovelies, it's Sarah here with a new training for this week. And we're gonna be a little bit steamy today. We're gonna be talking about some unconventional stuff. And as I titled, actually as I posted in the written section, is are you allowing yourself to be, to feel, to do, to experience things without the feelings of judgment, fear, or guilt? And the reason why this is so important is that I'm seeing women mostly every single day out there who might have $1 million on their bank accounts, but they are slaves of their businesses. They are sacrificing themselves, they're sacrificing their family time, they're sacrificing their sanity, they're sacrificing their marriages. I'm seeing women who who want so much to build their businesses, to get them from that status quo, from that ground zero, from that cycle that seems to be consuming so much of their energy, that they're really trying to justify their whole being and surrender to the fact that, hey, they're not claiming their brilliance, and then they're trying to make themselves feel better through the gratitude for everything that they have, and settle for way less than they actually deserve. And both examples, both extremes, have to do with our ability to give ourselves, to take for ourselves, to give ourselves best and demand the best. It's like the queen bee, right? In order for the queen bee to give, to produce, she requires her space, she requires her care, she requires only the best. Now, I'm gonna be the first to admit that used to be so hard for me to fathom, especially since I was always on the go, very practical, very strategic, very highly driven, motivated person, overachiever, as an athlete, as a student, as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a wife, always giving, until I burnt out. And even when one of my first coaches back in 2000, oh my gosh, 13, started to talk about the feminine energy and softening things, I was like, yeah, what is she talking about? Who needs lipsticks? Who needs high heels? Who needs, meditation? Who needs massages and hot tubs and stuff like that? That's what I equated with feminine energy. But the space from which I'm talking to you today, when it comes to this training, it's much different. It's much more congruent with the journey that I have been on, with the woman that I'm becoming. And from that space of balancing both, knowing where to bring in masculine, knowing when to tap into the feminine, knowing how to do it. And that how to do it is what we're going to be talking about today. It's giving yourself that permission. One of the cues for you to really tap into that world of the unknown is every single thing that triggers you, every single thing that you seem silly, unnecessary, waste of time, waste of energy. I would like for you to put on your curious hat and tap inside of your being, inside of your knowing. It's like, I wonder why I have this reaction towards a thing. And if we stay in that feminine, it could be wearing makeup, it could be wearing red lipstick, it could be wearing high heels, it could be putting on a dress, it could be doing your hair, it could be getting a massage, it could be really expressing yourself sexually. And that's another topic that personally I have never really discussed publicly. But I am a very, very sexual being with a drive much greater than my husband, with a desire to experiment much more than he does. But I'm gonna be very honest here, and like I said, it's totally unscripted. I have never shared it with anybody. What I have noticed is by trying to suppress my drive and my energy and trying to pretend it wasn't there, trying to dim it, trying to tone it down, trying to settle for anything less that I needed and wanted, affected every single aspect of my life, every single aspect of my business. But there was a lot of stigma attached to those conversations. There was a lot of guilt attached to those conversations, there was shame attached to those thoughts even. And that goes way back to how we were raised. And even as an entrepreneur, as an European, we're way more open-minded than Americans are. But again, it's your choice whether or not you take on those convictions as yours, or you just learn to adapt them and take them on your own, but they were actually passed on to you by somebody else. So if you go back to things that you feel on the inside that you want, that you desire, but you're afraid to really express them, then I invite you to really explore them, do a research on them. What do they mean? Like money, for example, is another one of those things that is really polarizing. It could be very cold and masculine and materialistic. And a lot of times, especially women who are highly conscious, highly spiritual, sensitive to the energies, and in the woo world, if you will, are very eerie about talking about money, desiring money, wanting money, and even requesting money for the exchange of their services and the value that they provide, because there's so belief attached to that. So if you find yourself in any of those examples, and it goes way beyond that, it goes through your mothering, it goes through being a wife, it goes through being a woman, it goes to being a woman entrepreneur, in any of those areas, explore it and give yourself a permission. Because at the end of the day, you choose to feel good in your skin. You choose to feel good about yourself. You choose to create the best day, the best week, the best month, the best year of your life. It's not on you to dim your light just so others can join your party and come on board. Even if you go out with a family, you choose to have fun. If you want to flirt a little bit, it doesn't necessarily mean flirting to sabotage your marriage. It means bringing that energy with you that even your husband's going to be, ooh, look at this. This is my woman right here sitting next to me. And I get to go home and I get to love her and she gets to love me. But to bring that sparkle back, right? It all starts within you, because at the end of the day, when you're building your business, when you're making sales, when you're creating, that's the energy that everything originates from anyway. And when you find yourself being uptight and nervous and anxious and worrying and depressed and tense and snapping at your kids, snapping at your husband, snapping at everybody around you, chances are that there's part of you there's really being suppressed. There's part of you there's really not being heard and validated and expressed. And many cases in entrepreneurship, when your business comes to a stall, when you're spinning in circles, you're not having a space because you're so preoccupied with saving everything and creating the solutions that you're not feeding your soul. You're not giving your heart what it really desires. You're not feeding your creativity, and you're not allowing that energetic flow to occur. It really is a catch-22, is a cycle that will continue until you consciously decide to stop it. Now, a lot of times what happens is that we are waiting for that one day when we are waiting for, when I have a business that really works, when I move my family into a place that really supports us, when I make $1 million, when I sign $100,000 contract, when I do this, that one day when, yes, it's a short-term strategy to aim for it. But if you're looking for that long-term success, sustainable success on your own terms, that brings you fulfillment, that feels good, that brings you joy, that gives you the time that you're looking for, that brings you the profits that you're looking for, that allows you to create a lifestyle that you desire, it all starts within. And it all starts, it's not just the mindset, it's not just the energetic blueprint, it's not just the strategic, it's not just the tactical, it's not just the business model, it's not just the one thing or the other. It's everything together, how congruent it is, how it works together, how it reflects your energy, how it allows you to work from your zone of genius. But yet again, it all starts with you allowing yourself to be in that space, to receive, to give, to feel, to do, to be. May it be sexual or not sexual. It could be something that somebody else perceived as a taboo, but it feels natural to you. It comes down to your own ability to honor yourself, to stand up for yourself, to claim your space, to claim your brilliance, to give yourself the best, to only demand the best and expect nothing less. And in mindset conversations that we have had in the past, we were talking about raising the level of tolerance. We were talking about creating new boundaries. We were talking about recreating the strategies that support you in all of that. We were talking about busting through limiting beliefs and breaking the patterns that keep you staying here and playing small. So it all is a journey, and that's a beautiful thing when we're talking about building out the next level of your business, living out the next level of your possible life, and becoming the highest and better version, the more truer version of yourself. It all is connected. No longer are you in the space where you're putting together one piece of the puzzle and one piece into the mosaic. Now you're in the space where it's time to take a step back, see what the picture even is, if it's still the picture that you even want to paint. Because a lot of times it's just an idea, it's a vision, it's a concept that you don't even have the name for. You can't even verbalize it. It's just the feeling. Now, how do we bring that feeling into reality, into tangible, right? It becomes now, what do we need to unlearn? What do we need to let go of? What do we need to shift and move around to recreate that new picture? And yes, giving yourself permission to be, do, feel, create that which you desire, that you feel called for, that your heart is looking for, giving your ego permission to kind of step aside and quiet down. May it be ego in terms of, oh, I should know better, or the ego of, oh, shoot, I don't know enough. It doesn't matter. The thing is, like I said, you have the power to choose, you have the power to create it, and the sooner that you start working on that, the greater your chances are to collapse the time and to bend the space and manifest it all like right now. Because why not? It doesn't have to be hard. It does not have to take days or weeks or years or decades, right? So let me know if you have any questions about that. And if you want to go deeper, if you want step by step or guidance or next step support or support to get to this point, I'm happy to show you how it's done.